Hi, this is Ashley Victoria Robinson coming to you from the Pop Spot here at New York Comic Con, and I am joined by the woman who's good at literally everything, Bryce Dallas Howard!
Oh, I wish that was true. I was putting on my mic, I was like, oh, my grip strength is terrible.
So you're not going to be climbing the Half Dome at Yosemite?
No, certainly not with these nails, but not in general. No.
Me either, girl, me either. In a recent interview with The Independent, you talked about how obsessed you are with danger on set. So, does a stunt coordinator hate to see you coming?
You know what? What's interesting is I'm sort of the opposite of what you would think given that quote. I am incredibly safety conscious to a point that does genuinely annoy some stunt coordinators. They're like, let them just do their job.
Let them fall on the ground.
Yeah. I'm like, where are the pads? Is everything okay? Check in with me. You don't suffer through anything. It's not worth it. You just call cut if there's anything. But I do also, on the other hand, say for myself when I'm acting is a contact sport.
Yes.
So it is very physical, and it is a very physical medium, and stunts and stunt choreography is a huge part of sort of like telling the story and pulling off the magic and dazzling audiences. And so I am very, very safety conscious, and it is very important that there are opportunities for an audience to viscerally feel that sort of adrenaline, that adrenaline rush that you get when you are, say, performing a stunt yourself. And so I'm always looking for those opportunities, and I like to, as a director, I typically, for acting performances, I like to do a number of takes. But for stunts, what I always say is that we need to be prepared to do one take in a safety and move on. So,
as an actor, how many takes do you think is an ideal number? And then as a director, how many takes do you think is an ideal number?
It really depends, whatever the circumstance. Like, I worked as an actor for Clint Eastwood, and he did record the rehearsal, and he did move on afterwards. And I was like, and it turned out that.
Your stomach drops out to your toes.
Yeah, so it is, as an actor, I love to work with directors who have a sense of, they're really in touch with their own instincts. And when they move on, they have a sense of certainty about moving on. And whether or not that takes, 2 takes or 10 takes or 40 takes or whatever, it never takes 40 takes. It never takes more. But,
don't tell Peter Jackson.
Hardly ever. But for me as a director, I do ideally, apart from stunts for performance, I love to have a minimum of 3 takes, usually more toward 5 or 6. Because I like to do the first couple of takes. I don't like to give the actors any direction. I like to just see what they're going to do, and then give them a chance again to kind of like, if they want to check up a monitor and be like, oh, just give me one more try, do that again, and then I'll just kind of come in with little adjustments, and then my second to last take is a silent take. So folks will do the scene without doing any dialogue, and then I'll do the final take, and then I'll do often pickups of what I call a De Niro. And
a De Niro.
Yeah.
Where we all do our best Italian American
impression. Basically, that famous scene in Taxi Driver where he's looking in the mirror and he's, repeating, "You talking to me, you talking to me." That was not written as "You talking to me, you talking to me, you talking to me." That was written as just "You talking to me," and he does a series. And oftentimes actors love to do just, they'll be like, just give me a chance to do that as a series, and you'll do a line like a few times in a row. So I call that a De Niro.
I love that.
Yeah. And I heard that he does that actually. He worked with someone, one of my friends, within the last few years, and in the middle of the scene, he just like gently touched her hand, and he would do a series, and then when he was done doing a series, he would touch her hand again, and they would proceed with the scene. And I was like, oh, that's clever. That's a really good way of doing it.
Steal from the best, right?
Yeah, always.
I have one more question about the idea of like danger and stakes on set. What is the over-under on you directing and or starring in a slasher in the future?
Oh, it's interesting. I was literally in the car ride here. I was talking with my husband about this, and I was like, like, I love M. Night Shyamalan movies. That's not a slasher movie. That's a,
horror for
thriller,
sure. Yeah.
Supernatural.
I think so many of
thriller.
us think of you in that world
Like,
as well.
I love that. That's definitely a sweet spot, but it needs to be hopeful at the end. Like, I'm a feel good girly.
So you're never going to be the person where we're going to rip the Michael Myers mask off and it's been Bryce all along.
No, I don't think so. If I am, there's something going on, and check in with me, please.
Okay. When you make your debut on Shudder, we'll be like, hey girl, how's it going?
Are you okay?
So the internet is quite confident that you are going to be returning to direct more Ahsoka come season 2.
Oh yes. I'm doing season 2. Yes,
Can you tease a little bit about what that might look like for us here? Maybe 3 words or less so we avoid spoilers?
3 words or less.
Yeah.
I know. It's just. I mean.
It's only between us and the whole internet.
Yeah. I mean, just fun, and more fun.
Yes.
It was my experience getting to do it. It is the most fun that I have had in my adult life.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. This summer was magical.
How many lightsabers do you own?
Only one.
Only one. Respectable. Not unhinged.
And it's one that you can get here at this venue.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You've touched so many different corners of the Star Wars universe. Is there anything in that mythos that you would love to get your hands on? Like, if I'm the queen of all of Star Wars and I can greenlight anything for you, what am I greenlighting for you?
Gosh, with Ahsoka, I don't want to get into any specifics, but with every single chance that I've had to direct in Star Wars, there's been a new opportunity to explore different facets of this galaxy, which is really always very exciting. Mandalorian culture. I was thrilled by getting to, play with the dark saber.
So cool.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Getting, the nuance of the techniques. And then, with Ahsoka, naturally, there are, Jedi, or maybe Jedi, or
Force sensitive, gray
it's
Jedi,
the
whatever
Force.
we're rebranding as.
Yeah, like I kept saying, I'm new to the Force. I'm new to the Force. Truly, every
That's
day.
a good T-shirt. I'm new to the Force.
I'm new to the Force.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so cute.
I mean, that is what I would say, because I didn't want to invent anything on the spot that wasn't, part of the fabric of it. I didn't want to assume that I knew the Force.
Look, if you did, Reddit would have told you what you nailed and what we did not nail. I would love to ask you a couple questions about Deep Cover.
Yes.
Because in Deep Cover, you play a struggling improv comic.
Yes.
What is your relationship to improv like?
Okay. So, when I first started acting, I am not an improv comedian. Like, that's not
it's totally different, scary skill set.
Unbelievable. But when I first started acting, I was in Chicago for a summer, a very high-ranking summer in my life, actually.
Yes,
and I got to work study at Steppenwolf. And there was a gentleman there.
All the theater people, by the way, just lost their mind. Being like, Steppenwolf, are you kidding me?
It's very cool. And I got to study with a gentleman named Sheldon Turner, who's hugely involved with Second City. And I was in college at the time, and he basically, I just really loved learning all the tenets of improv. I was like, oh, this makes sense, because when you watch folks performing improv comedy, it's a total superpower. You're like, how on earth could anyone ever do this? And yet, yes, it is a superpower, and yet it is also a skill and a technique that can be learned.
I like that you just yes-anded. That was very subtly done.
And so improv is something that can be learned, improv comedy. And it is actually, it's like great skills for life as well. Like, when there are folks, like any actors coming out, when they ask advice, and they're like, I'm just starting, what should I do? I'm like, just lean into improv and improv comedy, because it will serve every single experience that you ever have henceforth in life as a human being. And of course, quite essentially your work. So I got to study with him, did a bit with the Groundlings, just always impressed and dazzled by anyone who's able to consistently kind of stay in it and grow in that skill set. And so And so yeah, when I read this script, I was like, oh my God, this is such a great premise. It makes so much sense in a way.
Yeah.
That of course, like you would go to get like undercover cops, you would go to improv comedians, maybe not comedians, maybe improv performers.
Yes.
But it requires you to be quick on your feet.
The same kind of skill set.
Yeah.
And convincing.
Yes,
Most
and
importantly,
convincing. Yeah.
And you also worked with a ton of very scary men from Game of Thrones on that project.
Yes.
Patty Considine,
Yes.
Sean Bean,
Yeah.
Ian McShane. Who's the
Yes.
scariest?
Oh my gosh. They were all quite sweet. They were all quite sweet.
I love that.
Ian was absolutely, like his role was really terrifying and he like totally owned that.
Of course.
And so I was definitely at first intimidated and then he came up and was super sweet and all of that. So yeah.
I want to imagine that he's like bringing you tea and being like, yes, Bryce, everything's lovely. Da, 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 da.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, it was a pretty, it was a grimy set, but there was no tea. There was no tea.
No afternoon tea every single cut?
Yeah. But no, I mean, that's usually the way it is. It's like the guys who are like the toughest looking guys who are the gentlest. Like I remember on that movie, there were so many, like there were many guys who played sort of these characters that were like heavies, that were like the bouncer and stuff like that. Many of these guys who I would spend time talking with them and then find out that they were fine artists.
Yes.
Like there were like 3 fine artists
Wow.
playing these like
Tough
muscle
guys.
Yeah. And formidably, like they look like, you wouldn't want to mess with these guys.
Yeah.
And then I would kind of get it out of them because I would always be watercoloring on set and then be looking at their Instagram being like, oh my God, you're such a beautiful artist. Oh my God. And so many of them went to art school. I mean, unbelievable.
But could break your legs if something went wrong.
Absolutely.
And then lastly but not leastly, because we are here at New York Comic Con, what are you geeking out about that you're not working on? So what's just something you're enjoying?
Oh my God, what am I enjoying? I mean, I'm a weirdo because I like get very interested in very specific niche things, and it's like very weird. So like you said that, and my brain went to like 6 different things, of which very few people could probably relate to.
Fantastic. What are they?
Okay, I'm really interested in the documentaries of Stacey Dooley in the last week. I love to watch women building things in the woods.
Yes.
And a time lapse of that. And sort of as it relates to the Comic-Con Marvel world, Marvel's Star Wars, comics. I mean, what does this world encapsulate? Like, and it's anime, and
Everything.
and it's all of that. My family last night, they were watching Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, how cool! Hunter x
Yeah,
Hunter's
yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's a second pass through.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
it
you're
was
like
actually
deep in.
really sweet. It was my husband's birthday. And my daughter made him a bunch of coupons, and one of the coupons was that he could watch any anime show of his choice with her. And he was like, I want to watch Hunter x Hunter again. So she was like, okay, Dad.
No, if we have, just for you, for your
Happy birthday.
Bryce Dallas Howard, thank you so much for joining us here at New York Comic Con.
Thank you.